While there will certainly always be diehards suffering from Trump devotion syndrome, well, certain broken promises are turning key worms. In our breaking story today, last night, Lawrence O'Donnell put on a masterclass, a breakdown for the MAGAs who might not know from fancy book learning, but should nevertheless start to see the light. Now, wait until you see his diatribe. It's just great. Welcome to Occupy Democrats, and please hit the subscribe button if your memory of January 6th hasn't changed a bit.
They are inside Statuary Hall. It's hard to believe what we're seeing right there. They're just walking through. Where are Capitol Police? It's an awful situation that's unfolding here in the United States.
Oh, yes, the QAnon shaman, I guess his name is Jake Angeli, forever identified with January 6th and forever a symbol of the mutations Trump causes in his MAGA worldview. Now in our breaking story today, Lawrence O'Donnell has a message for the shaman and for all those others who might now be thinking, wait, this isn't what I voted for.
Are you still a Trump supporter?
No. I thought you knew that.
Why not?
The man alone refusing to release the Epstein client list was enough for me and I think a lot of other people to be like, okay, this is...
Jake brought us to a mountain overlooking Phoenix, where he says he sometimes performs his shamanic ceremonies.
So we're gonna hike a bit?
That's the hope and the prayer, right?
I think
If we're gonna hike, though, I'm taking off my shirt.
America is not ready for me to take my shirt off. Looking back on Jan 6 now, how do you feel? Do you have any regrets? Do you regret that you went?
Not at all.
Even though you had prison, all that stuff?
Even though I had prison and all that stuff, no regrets. I don't live with regret.
You went to Washington because you believed the election was stolen, right?
Well, look at it like this. I went to Washington because I believe that every election since Kennedy has been stolen, and I believe every election since 1913 has been stolen. I went to Washington not so much to support Trump, but to support America and the idea of free, honest, and fair elections in the United States.
So you were never this wild Trump supporter?
Look at it like this. I supported Trump because he was talking about ending child and human trafficking. I supported Trump because he was talking about arresting Epstein and the Epstein client list.
Did you ever identify as the QAnon shaman?
Never. Not once.
But you were a Q follower?
Well, kind of. I had a sign that I carried around with me for a little while that said Q sent me, but that was because of the meme.
Well, in fact, Jake Angeli has not only turned on Trump, but he's actually running for governor of Arizona as an anti-Trump independent. It's a perfect setup for Lawrence O'Donnell's Come to Jesus opener last night on The Last Word. And in the spirit of discernment, here's the gospel according to Lawrence, St. Sebastian's own.
Well, being a Trump supporter requires a never-before-seen-in-politics superhuman ability to manage personal, public, deep humiliation. Being a Trump supporter means Donald Trump will humiliate you. He will humiliate you with your families, who you told last year that the reason you were supporting Donald Trump is that he's not one of those regime change Republicans. He's not one of those Republican presidents like both of the presidents Bush, who invades foreign countries to change their leadership. Every Trump supporter who said that about Donald Trump, told their kids that about Donald Trump last year, has now been humiliated by Donald Trump once again. Every Republican member of Congress was in favor of freer trade around the world, meaning lower tariffs around the world, until Donald Trump became the Republican nominee for president for the first time. And then they just went silent when Donald Trump turned the Republican Party from the anti-tariff party to the tariff party, the sales tax party, because that is what a tariff is, a sales tax paid by Americans into the United States Treasury, just like income taxes. Republicans who base their entire careers on never raising taxes support Donald Trump's raising taxes on you through tariffs. That is the kind of humiliating flip-flop that used to destroy political careers. Senator Lindsey Graham is a case study in deep personal humiliation.
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for. And you know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell.
And then Donald Trump attacked Lindsey Graham and gave out Lindsey Graham's cell phone number on television during one of his rallies. And how did Lindsey Graham fight back? By spending every day of the rest of his political career publicly worshiping Donald Trump. Jimmy Kimmel now says that Lindsey Graham is now the closest Donald Trump has come to owning a dog. 5 years ago today, Lindsey Graham summoned the courage to break with Donald Trump for the first time since he had become Donald Trump's pet.
I hate it being this way. Oh my God, I hate it. From my point of view, he's been a consequential president. But today, first thing you'll see, all I can say is count me out. Enough is enough.
That was 5 years ago tonight, and enough was not enough. That was right after Donald Trump urged a mob he had publicly summoned to Washington to fight like hell. And they did. They fought like hell. They violently fought like hell and attacked the Capitol in search of the Vice President of the United States, who they publicly declared they wanted to murder. And Donald Trump watched on TV and did nothing to stop them, which is exactly what you would do if you were hoping that they would succeed. 5 years ago on this date, Donald Trump was lying to his most violent followers about an election that he lost. And today, Donald Trump was lying again. In fact, every day Donald Trump speaks into a microphone, he lies. Today, his lies included what appeared to be the hallucination of a neurologically declining mind when he said, "We are getting rich because of tariffs." No country in history has ever gotten rich because of tariffs. It's impossible to get rich because of tariffs. Tariffs are sales taxes imposed at the point of entry on foreign goods sold in the United States. The tariffs are paid exclusively by Americans in the United States. And so what Donald Trump calls getting rich because of tariffs is actually the United States Treasury, under Donald Trump's control, taking your money away from you in the form of tariffs and putting it in the United States Treasury. Those tariffs are paid by the American companies that import those goods, and when they sell those goods to you, the tariffs that they have paid are included in the price that you pay, and that's how you pay tariffs every day that Donald Trump is president. Today, Donald Trump hallucinated that that meant money pouring into our country. Not one penny has come into this country in its history because of tariffs. Keep that in mind when you watch a 79-year-old man in full hallucination mode with imagined conversations that never happened about tariffs.
We're getting rich because of tariffs, by the way. I hope everyone understands that. They hate to report. We're going to have over $650 billion poured into our country or coming in shortly because of tariffs. You know, they're finding all of these pockets of money a couple of weeks ago. Sir, we're off by $39 billion. Oh, is that good or bad? Meaning, do we have it or are we short of it? Sir, it's $39 billion that we can't account for. That means we have an extra 39. Yes, sir. And I said, well, what are you saying? We just don't know where it came from. I said, check the tariff shelf. Sir, that tariff doesn't start until September. I said, no. It started about a month and a half ago. Check it. Comes back 25 minutes later. Sir, you were right. It came from tariffs. This never happened to us before, where we find plus 39 billion, not million, plus 39 billion. They were missing. We've taken in $650 billion or shortcoming, and that's because I'm being nice.
That's Donald Trump publicly flunking a neurological exam.
Wow, that was good. In summation, I guess anyone supporting him at this point should have their heads examined too. Like, share, and please take care.
Just take a little tip from me, Ralph. I think you should have your head examined.
You think that, Alice? You think I should have my head examined, hon? I'll have it examined, Alice, if you want. Anywhere in the United States, I'll have it examined. Go to Vienna and have it examined for you. Vienna. Any doctor, any place, any hospital. They can bring doctors from the moon down here to examine my head. And they'll find nothing in there, Alice.